Men of Reddit. What can you acknowledge is harder for women? Creepy people following you. My girlfriend walked home from work sometimes. It wasn't far, and it was in broad daylight. This guy drove by and asked to give her a ride. She declined, said she was almost home. When she got home she told me about it, and how he kept driving up and down the street looking at her afterwards. He followed her into the apartment complex, and parked his car to watch her go into the apartment. I was obviously upset. I went out with her so she could point him out, but he had left. It was weird. I told her to call me right away if she sees him anywhere near here. Public restrooms always seem have more of a line than men's rooms. Plus, you'll get to sit down on every nasty public toilet you have to use. That sucks. This one time at a punk show, I asked where the restroom was. The gentleman pointed to the alleyway outside the venue. I thought gross, but punk show. Can't exactly complain. So, I release the kraken and make a piss. When this punk girl strolls up next to me, gives me a sup nod, whips out a plastic penis contraption, and puts my measly little stream to shame. I learned two things. Women drew the short straw on restrooms. And punk girls are a different breed. Repeating outside, damn, so many good ones have been said already. A relatively minor thing that I haven't seen yet is hair. Body hair of any kind is often something women are expected to minimize/remove completely. Also, long hair is a bitch to take care of and manage, as I've come to realize by letting my hair grow past my shoulders during the pandemic. Pretty girls getting sent creepy DM. My sister just turned 13 years old, and is a good-looking girl. Countless times has she showed me messages on Snapchat between her and some dude's 4-inch penis. Disgusting. Birth control. My girlfriend is on an implant, and it makes her period hella irregular, and so she can bleed intermittently with no warning, so she'll just go to the toilet one day and be bleeding. No prediction of when it will happen. Just, hey, you're bleeding now. How long for? Wouldn't you like to know? Just so we don't have kids we're not ready for. I'm happy to wear a condom, but it's not as safe as using something like the implant or IUD in terms of family planning. She had to get that shit inserted into her arm with general anesthetic like a badass. And one type of birth control doesn't work for everyone. I've heard my friends talking about how they have to take the pill at the same time every day. I can't even remember to have breakfast most days. I've heard you can get injections that last 3 months, and can mess with your mood even on antidepressants. And some women I know will be on birth control, because their boyfriend wants it raw. The lengths they go through is ridiculous. I'm a guy, and I was working at an ice cream and candy shop, and this older man comes in and orders some popcorn. As I'm scooping it into the container he looks at me and says, "Oh yeah, just pack it in." I like it when they pack it in real tight. In an obviously sexual way. It made me uncomfortable, and I bring it up talking to my coworkers, and one of the girls, who was much younger, says, "Yeah, welcome to pretty much every day of my life." As an Indian man, literally their entire lives. Periods getting catcalled. Specifically, I'm a guy that got catcalled a lot in high school and college. I ran distance in tiny short shorts, and that's it, and got everything from whistles to honks, girls blowing kisses to guys yelling fag out of their car windows, to gay guys slapping my ass or complimenting me. I took it in stride, none if it ever bothered me, and that kind of colored my opinion of catcalling, not that I approved of it, but that it wasn't that big a deal. Then I had a girlfriend in college, and she got catcalled while I was walking her home at night. It was a distinctly different experience. Turns out I never once felt threatened by my catcallers, but hers were definitely scary and threatening. It was a completely different experience, and really shitty and frightening. Childbirth. When you're young everyone talks to you, When you get older you realize a lot of guys talk to you because they find you attractive, not because they are interested in talking. Later no one talks to you. Finding clothes with pockets. I've only recently been made aware that women's trousers, pants, don't usually come with pockets that are actually deep enough to keep anything in there. Fashion is weird. This is a refreshing question for Reddit. Being taken seriously is still a big one. Some women take their partners to places like mechanics just so they don't try to screw them over. First of all, periods. Hats off to you all for handling them. Next, being forced to be aware of your surroundings anywhere you go. Like you always have a fear of a bad encounter. And finally, not being acknowledged while being out with a man. Many times I went to restaurants or shopping with someone, everyone always comes up to me instead of my date. One time during shopping for PC parts, I had to state that she wants to buy something. Not I after many times of telling the salesman to ask her. Having small to no pockets in the jeans, being encouraged to say no, and frequently getting punished when they do. It's fucked. Feeling safe in general. Whether it be outside after a certain your parties, going to dates with someone new, etc. etc. From the stories I hear from friends and acquaintances, it's pretty scary sometimes. Also less impactful, but gaming. When a girl is gaming it's always dudes telling he that she's a pick-me girl, that she only plays Minecraft, that she doesn't know shit, etc. etc. Just them being disrespectful and annoying shits. Edit. It's even worse in places like Mexico, where I'm from, and as my frame of reference. Edit. Our asterisk not your. And her asterisk not he. As a man I thought it must be great to be able to have sex with so many people. I thought it was good that a woman could count on a one-night stand at the bar. As I got older I realized that women also have to walk through a world where a lot of men want to fuck them, and many men don't care how they get there. Lying, getting women drunk, or drugging them, or flat out rape. Men they may know, or complete strangers, or even close relatives. That must be far harder than having to impress a woman to have consensual sex. Occupying space for no apparent reason became much easier. That's what I, M61, remember reading from a woman journalist who disguised herself as a man for day. She noted that the ability to simply stand or sit any place you like is a privilege men take for granted. That really stayed with me. And yes, I have to agree that's true. Guys, I just want to say, as a female, reading this made me cry. Thank you for acknowledging this shit, especially the general lack of safety we feel. It's too real. It gives me so much hope. Being taken seriously in certain male-dominated fields. IT, especially programming. Even if they know their shit, there is still a sexist stigma of dismissing them as not knowing what they are doing / not as good as male counterparts. I find it frustrating. I welcome more women in the programming field. UTIs. My wife will occasionally get a UTI after sex, and has to suffer the discomfort and the irritation of trying to get a GP appointment, UK, whilst convincing the witch of a GP receptionist that you want an appointment today. Getting immediate respect. I know this is so much easier for men. I feel sorry for women who have to go through this, and I do give them the respect they deserve. Progressing in a career while still wanting to have children. For people at work to take their words seriously in meetings. Breaking into acting. Women have it much worse than men when it comes to trying to pursue an acting career. They are judged more heavily on their looks and youth. At my acting school there was a female student there who told me she went on an audition where the casting director told her she was way too old to play a middle-aged doctor's wife, and they wanted somebody younger. That female student was only 32! Feeling comfortable walking home alone after dark, unfortunately. Have you ever seen that a very high percentage of women suffer some type of harassment? Like in the high 90%s. Well, I never realized, but it's absolutely true, and I hate how they have to deal with it.